let's tell the people what we're doing today. No? Okay. We're gonna do a reading vlog. Sorry. Shouldn't have used shoes, bro. I just got off work. Because it's raining. I work at an outdoor theater, so if there's a lot of heavy rain, lightning, thunder, all that fun stuff, we can't work. Which is great, because we were supposed to do a 15-hour day today. But we just had to do 10, so awesome. But we're gonna do a reading vlog today, or start a reading vlog today of the Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. I'm excited. I haven't been reading a lot recently because I've just been working so much. So I'm on page 46, chapter 5, page 46. And so far I'm really liking it. So it kind of starts out with like the beginning. You get where Lestat is in the present. He woke up to start a rock band, like that's what he wanted to do, and I think that's great. I think that's hilarious. And now we're going back, and this is like Lestat's life story, so now we're going back to the beginning of his life, and I'm enjoying it so far. Anyway, I'm really tired and I feel gross, so I don't think talking to the camera's going well for me right now. Anyway, I'll check in with you when I get further in the book.
1 hour later.
So, it's like an hour later, and I have been procrastinating reading by watching other people's reading vlogs. So I haven't read very much further. I'm only on page 50, but Lestat's basically having the same kind of crisis, existential crisis, that I felt like was similar to what I was feeling, what I am feeling, just talking about death and what comes after that, and if we're ever going to get an explanation as to why we exist, if there is a reason for why we exist, and what keeps you going if you don't, I don't know, believe all of it. Like, just all of it, I don't know. But his friend Nicholas is, while he's going through this for days, his friend Nicholas is playing the violin for him, and he says, and I knew it wasn't going to pass, the existential crisis, and nothing for the moment could make me forget, but what I felt was an inexpressible gratitude for the music, that in this horror there could be something as beautiful as that. And I love that. Finding beauty in everything around you, even though you have no idea why it exists and why you exist and what's going to happen at any moment. But what I felt was an inexpressible gratitude for the music. That in this horror there could be something as beautiful as that. Maybe that's just what life is about. Maybe that's what you can make it about, is just finding the things that are beautiful and surrounding yourself with them. It sounds very materialistic, but I'm not talking about items, personalities, people, the mountains, the sky, the clouds, the lightning, the rain, the music. At least there are things that are beautiful, and there are things to love. I just have to read this. So So Lestat's mom has come to talk to him, and she said, for the moment, death is spoiling life for you, that's all. But life is more important than death, and you'll realize it soon enough. Hello. It's been a few days, 2 days since I checked in, perhaps. That first night I read to page 90, so I got to where... It's my computer freaking out. So I got to where Lestat got turned into a vampire, which is cool. I feel like I had more to say on it, but I can't remember now, and that's okay. So yesterday I just read a few pages, so I'm only on page 108 now. And so Lestat's like figuring out his powers and exploring Paris with his new way of seeing life, which is cool and very interesting as well. He has a little tidbit in there that he talks about laughing. Like he finds something funny and then he just can't stop laughing. And I think that's hilarious because he also says that that continues throughout his vampire career, I don't know, through his life, his vampire life, and it annoys other vampires, which I thought was a funny tidbit to put in there. Today has been rough. Got some bad news. It's my fridge freaking out, but I'm okay. And since I'm not at work because of the rough thing, I'm gonna do some reading. I'm gonna get into some comfier clothes and a heating pad and just read for the rest of the night. It's currently 11:31 p.m. and I work nights, so I'm used to staying up until like, when I'm working, like 7 a.m. But if I'm not working, I usually go to bed around 5, so we have quite a few hours of reading that we can get done. And I will try and do my best to actually check in and do the thing. Hello. It is 5:30 in the morning. I got to page 205, chapter 4 of part 4. So we've been introduced to the other, well, I don't know what to call them, like cult community of vampires in Paris that live underground. And Lestat has basically broken down their whole belief system, which is great. Everything seems to be going well for him. But I'm really liking it. I really like how she talks about religion, kind of like the outdatedness of religion, and she does that instead of directly talking about religion and more talking about the beliefs of the vampires, which is set up on religion. I think it's cool. I'm enjoying it so far, other than the weird like mom and son like kissy moments. I don't know if that's gonna continue. So sometimes he calls her mother, sometimes he calls her Gabrielle. Like I think he's trying to see her as a different person and not like the same person that his mortal mom was. But I still think that the kissing is weird. So it's currently 6 a.m. and I have gotten to page 306. Yeah, 306, chapter 4 of part 6, I believe. So much has happened in the last 100 pages, I don't even know where to start. We got to know the Coven leader a little better. A lot of time has passed. It's really detailed when Lestat is in France, and specifically in Paris, and when he's like, you know, first become a vampire and he's going through all those things. But then once they leave Paris, it's a little less detailed. Like, it's just kind of fast paced. Like, we went to this place, we went to that place, we went to this place. And then we're just kind of catching up again, like in more detail when they're in Cairo, I think is how you pronounce it. They're in Egypt. And it's getting heavy. Like, it's, there are some sad things happening. And so I'm kind of sad. And I'm hoping that it gets better for him. That's all. I'm gonna go to bed now. Hello. It is 4:45 a.m. I'm on page 388. So I have about 90 pages left, I believe. I read a little bit at work today and a little bit in the Del Taco parking lot. So we've met Marius at this point, and he's interesting so far. Not as interesting yet as I thought he was gonna be, but we haven't got his whole story yet. So that could very well change. We're learning now about the ones who must be kept, and we have met them already, which is crazy. Like, I'm just in awe of how people come up with stories, like how authors come up with stories. And I wish that I had that capability. Like, I'm reading this and I'm like, this is so intricate, and yet it all makes sense. Read this book. Hi, I'm Annika Howard, and I think you should read this book. Good night. So I just finished the Vampire Lestat, and I just looked at my library's database, and they do not have the third freaking book. So it's only $9 on Amazon for the Kindle version. And I'm debating on breaking my whole TBR list for this month. Just keep reading. It ended on a cliffhanger, so you know I'm wanting to read that so freaking bad. I don't even want to say what happens. Like, I know I put spoilers throughout this whole video, so people probably aren't watching it if they haven't read it, but oh my freaking gosh. I just want to know what's gonna happen next. Like, that's crazy. And I'm happy that it ended that way, because I was kind of getting me about it. But only because I feel like the Lestat in this book, like his whole backstory, I'm finding it hard to link him to the Lestat in Interview with a Vampire. Like, maybe it's just the way that Lewis, I don't know if it's Louis or Lewis. I'm gonna say Lewis, but I should probably look it up. Anyway, I don't know if it's just like that's his perception of him and it's not, and that like this is supposed to be him, so of course it's different. But I was just getting kind of like that last 80 pages where it's everything after his backstory and he, like the epilogue part of it. Anyway, like I just feel like the Lestat that you read about before that point up into the epilogue, like something happened, but we didn't see what that was that made him from this person to person in an interview with a vampire. Or maybe I missed it. Who knows? Anyway, I was having some issues with that book, or with that part of the book, but now I just want to know what fucking happens. I just want to know how this works out, this whole situation, the whole situation. That was hand holding, by the way. If you know, you know. And then also they had in this copy, I read the first line of it and it spoiled me for something. This is book 11, by the way. This is book 2. So this has spoiled me for something that doesn't even happen till way later. Beware of these if you're like me and you don't know what order the books go in. So that's the Vampire Lestat. Done. The series that got me into vampires, which you stop, and it was Vampire Kisses. I cannot remember the author's name at this very moment. Look at that, yes.